About one quarter each game before the slow start in the first. What do you chalk that up to, besides, of course, the horrendous travel day and schedule?
I loved our effort, with all the circumstances that is going on with our team in terms of our travel. I thought the guys responded incredible in the second half. We got to do it for 48 minutes. They know it. I know it. And we got to continue to hold each other accountable to doing that. We just haven't put a full game together yet.
I know no moral victories, but VI getting going there at the end seemed to find a rhythm that had been eluding him since he returned from his injury. How refreshing was that to see?
He looked like the Brandon that we're all accustomed to seeing night in and night out. So good to see him get his rhythm going. He was attacking. He was rebounding the ball, making good decisions with the basketball. And that's what we need from him, and he knows that.
And when you come in on a long losing streak, you've been calling for your team to play desperate, and you find yourself down 30 early in the game. Just how disappointing is that?
It happens. It's the NBA. It's a game of runs. I mean, we don't want to get down that many points, but they're a good team, especially in the first quarters, and that's what they did to us tonight. So, we'll go home, we'll regroup, we'll watch film, and get back to practice and get back after it.
And what did it take for you guys to finally turn around the second half and make it a game?
We just caught our second win. I think the guys kind of got knocked on their heels to start the game, and, it's just unacceptable that those things are happening. I'll take full ownership as well. I got to be better. I got to get us off to great starts in terms of having our team prepared. But we'll get there. Tonight was, once again, it was one of those games where we could have laid down, and we didn't. And so I'm proud of the guys for the effort, but we gotta try to turn it around at some point.
Did you get an explanation on what happened on the brand?
I did not get an explanation. Did you guys see it?
We saw it.
I didn't get it.
He was in.
Yeah, I didn't get an explanation on why they couldn't look at the call. They just said Brandon was out of bounds, and that was it.
Did they say anything about the clock either?
They didn't. We asked them about both. Okay, is there more time? And we just didn't get an explanation on it.
How much is that on top of everything, plus the losing streak, plus everything to come back and that's what kind of happens at the end of the game? How much does that add to anything?
It shouldn't come down to that for us. Plays like that happen. Look, we're not happy about it. When I go back and look at it, if he was in bounds, I get it. But more importantly for us is what happened leading up to those plays. So those are the things that we can control.
Kyra over Devonte, what kind of led into that decision tonight?
Just want to try to get Kyra some games under his belt and see what he can give us.
And just big picture, 10 straight losses. How do you just keep the negativity from seeping in and making this, turn into a bigger thing for the team?
Look, we got to stay positive about it. There's some improvement happening, and we can't judge ourselves just off the wins and losses. It's still a long season, so we got plenty of games left to turn it around. We dug ourselves in a hole. We got to climb out of it.
And is there a point, as the leader, where you feel like something drastic needs to be done, something, just to send a message, or you got to do something different just to get it turned around where it feels like these losses keep piling up?
We got to stay the course. It's what we've done. It's what we believe in, being consistent. We've been here before. This is not new to this team. We had more losses this time last year, so perspective is important for us at this time.
How much does last year help?
It helps. I say it all the time, but not only in sports but in life. When you go through adversity, you go through tough times like we are now, in the basketball world, you evaluate your life, and many people go through adversity, they go through tough times. What do you do during those times? Do you do something drastic and change everything you're doing, or you try to stay the course, make a few tweaks and adjustments, and those are the things that we'll do.
Thanks, Coach. Thank you, Coach.
What did you think of that no call, no review there at the end? Did you have a chance?
I thought it was ridiculous. We looked at the clip in the locker room. There was time off the clock, and he didn't step in bounds. I thought it was ridiculous. I would have loved the way we fought back. I would have loved to actually have a chance. Would have been good.
And where did that fight to come back and rally back from that type of, especially first quarter, that rough start to the game, where did that come from? Was something said in the locker room at halftime?
We knew that first half wasn't us. Obviously, it's been a hell of a day. That first half wasn't us, and we're not. I don't mean to sit here and make excuses, but wasn't us. And we came out the second half. Obviously, hope nothing's wrong with Luka. Hope he's all right. But having him out in the second half helped just a little bit.
It would. Having BI in the fourth quarter, having him get back to himself, seem to find that rhythm that's eluded him. What was that like for you?
It was great. That's B. That's the guy we all know and love. That's our closer. He was out for 2 months. For anybody that expected him to step on the court and be an all-star again immediately doesn't understand basketball. So it's good to get him these reps, end of games, and all this, and all this now, because he's getting his rhythm back, and he's starting to look like the guy that's front and center of everything we do.
To be able to come back, just how much does it hurt that that's the way that this ended tonight?
The players should have decided the game, and they didn't. Brandon got the steal, got the deflection, CJ recovered it, and there was, I believe it was 4.9 seconds left on the clock when it happened. So there were two wrongs done. The clock was wrong and the call was wrong. I don't know the rule book, but I don't know why we didn't at least review it.
I think they changed that.
Did they? I just hope we get the same calls at home. That'd be lovely.
You mentioned it being a hell of a day.
Mm-hmm.
How much does that landing, I know you flying on back-to-backs and staying it's early. How much does landing at that time kind of throw your day off, throw your routine off as a player?
Oh, you don't get a day like today. You don't get a routine. We're creatures of habit, right? This is my 8th year. I've been doing the same, whether I'm at home or away. I do the same thing every single game day to prepare for the game. And a day like today where you fly in and you got to eat what's on the plane, then go to the hotel and see if you can scramble a little some semblance of rest before the game is not ideal. Again. But with all that being said, it was a 3-point game with 4.9 seconds left, and we should have had the ball.
Yeah, when you're a team facing a long losing streak, you're kind of desperate just to get a win on the board, and you find yourself down by that much in the first half. Just kind of how draining is that as a team?
No, it hurt. It did. They were hitting shots, man. Luka was knocking down everything, and he's a matchup nightmare. Their shooters were shooting. They were clicking on offense, and it felt like there wasn't a whole lot we could do to slow them down. But again, we came out aggressive, hit first in the second half, and again, it was a 3-point game with 4.9 seconds left, and we should have had the ball.
And obviously, Luka played a big part in the second half. But what do you think you guys did to kind of turn it around and make it a game?
We hit first. We were the aggressors, on both offense and defense. We in the first half we kind of tried to react to what they were running on offense. Where in the second half I felt like we dictated a little bit more where they were going to go, rather than just let them come to us. Offensively, we were great pace into things and getting the shots. Like you said, Brandon made some Brandon shots, and the guys were getting downhill, creating turnovers. And I think we had, what did we end up with, 17 turnovers total? We only have 4 in the second half. So that's a major part of our offensive woes have been turnovers. So when we eliminate that, we're really good.
And, once these losses start piling up, as one of the leaders, how much do you have to be conscious of, to fight back against negativity or finger pointing or guys slumping shoulders during the game? How much do you have to kind of pay attention to that during times like this?
Yeah, you got to pay attention to it. You know, it's. I don't want to say it's natural, but you know, it's nobody likes to lose. You know, you don't get to this point without hating to lose, and you know, there's natural to be frustrations and natural for heads to drop. But again, it's, you know, myself, CJ, Garrett, Jonas, you know, the vets, you know, have done a pretty good job of keeping the group motivated and keeping the group, you know, onto the next task. They're one thing you're not going to get from this group is finger pointing. No one's done it. No one will do it. That's you know, this is a group thing, and this is a group that's going to stick together regardless of a 10-game losing streak.
Thanks, Larry. Thank you, Larry.
Appreciate it, guys.
Sure.